Hey guys, welcome back. This is Ping. This is the second episode of the LGBTQ plus series, and I have the honor to have Norberto to talk with us. And he was the guest from the previous episode, and so if you're interested in listening to his other story, it is in episode 7. And also we talked about his journey of being a gay man from Puerto Rico and how he became more and more of himself and mature in Colorado. And we also talk about some of the experience of being oppressed or challenges in a lot of social areas. So I find it really inspiring, and I really appreciate his honesty and just being genuine with the whole recording experience. I would like to put a little note here because when I was editing this episode, I realized I was using the wrong word. As an ESL speaker, I was thinking in my head that Norberto should not be defined by his identities or only one of the identities, but I think I said it label the word. So when I was listening to it, I was like, this is probably not the right word, so do forgive me. What I meant was someone shouldn't be defined by only one identity. So give me some thoughts. If you like the episode, you can always tag me on your Instagram or Facebook when you're sharing a post, and I would love to hear from you. All right, let's get started. Welcome to Chai with Ping. This is Ping Robert. In this podcast, I cover immigrant stories, cross-cultural experiences, and minority issues. Join me with a cup of chai and take a listen.
What was I just said something over there. I was like,
No, I said that. Do you have any questions before we start?
No, we're good.
Cool. So let me get to the beginning. Welcome back to Chai with Ping. My name is Ping. Thank you so much for tuning in. And today is another new episode. If you haven't subscribed or follow us, please do that on Facebook and Instagram. And also subscribe because then you can get a new episode notification where this episode is coming from. Cool. All right. So this month is the Pride Month. It's for LGBTQ groups. And I just started learning about the whole issue after I came to the US in 2017. It's a new issue for me. And so if I say anything wrong, please correct me, educate me, and teach me. I am inviting a returning guest that last year around this time, that right now is 2021 June. So last year, in the very beginning of the stage, that he actually come to the show and supported me, sharing about his passion for linguistics. And today we're going to talk about other identities. So let's welcome Norberto.
Hi.
Thank you so much.
Hi to all my community out there.
Yeah. So for those you don't know Norberto, let me introduce you a little bit, and then you can add whatever I'm missing. So he's originally from Puerto Rico, and so he's a Latino, and he speaks both English and Spanish. And he moved to Colorado for college. Or grad school.
Yeah, for grad school.
And so he has a master's in linguistics.
Yes.
And he also does ballet. And then today we want to focus more on his stories of being a gay man. Is there anything you want to add?
No.
No? So let's just jump right in. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and identities?
Yes. So I'm Puerto Rican. Oh, hi again to all the people that was to listen to our linguistics episode. You should check it out. It's really cool. I am Norberto. I am Puerto Rican. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico, not to be confused with a New Yorker. We love them, but no, we're different. That's a whole completely different identity, even though it's shared with Puerto Ricans in the island. And then I moved here in 2016, February. I think it's 5 years now. Wow. And I moved to do my master's degree at CU Boulder, which I finished. I did my master's in linguistics. I was a translator and interpreter. That's where Ping I met in one of
That's
the
right.
classes that we were
Yep.
taking. And then I quit translating and interpreting because I realized that was not my passion.
Oh.
And right now I'm a pharmacy technician.
Oh, that's so cool. I didn't know that.
Yes, pharmacy
Wow.
technician. We don't do that much. Actually, we get a lot of patients screaming and yelling at us, but that's the life of pharmacy technician, you know. And yes, I am gay. My pronouns are him, his. And yeah, that's what I can say.
Cool. So I drafted a few questions that I want to understand about your journey being a gay man. So can you share a little bit of your journey of being a gay, coming out, or how your family reacted?
Yeah, this is I actually posted this a few days in one of my social medias. And I didn't realize how much I needed to say that. It was hard for me. And well, I was in Puerto Rico, and you know, you grow up with these things and you don't understand them, and people laugh at you, criticize you, like call you names from young. I remember being 6, 7, and I was playing baseball. Baseball is a big thing in Puerto Rico, and I was playing baseball, and that was the first time I got called a faggot. That was the first time I was called a faggot, and at that point it was kind of hurtful, but I didn't understand it either, you know. And then with time, you grow up, you don't accept that you like that, or that you have that sexual attraction, right? And because I grew up in a really Christian family, and it was kind of hard because we were in church almost every day. When I tell you almost every day, baby, we're talking about, I think we only had like Wednesdays off. The rest of the week, it was literally at the church.
Wow.
And I grew up in a really Christian family, really, really Christian. And I know that we all know, oh yeah, my family's Christian. No, I'm talking about eating, breathing, you know, Christian stuff at work, whatever. And then with time, I just fell into this thing of like, I am not gay, right? Because you're forced by the community. The Christian community forces you to, you know, push that away and like not accept it. And like I had therapy. I had conversion therapy, actually. Not many knew that. And actually, I don't think that anyone knows about that. That I openly said it, now that I think about it.
What do you do in conversion therapy?
They just talk about how, you know, they try to guide the therapy towards like, do you understand what that is? You know, how bad it is, you know, how your soul is going to be affected is when, you know, Jesus comes back for his, you know, people, and what attitudes you have to work. Well, that's not what men do. And so, you know. And then they just work towards that. At least mine, that's how I remember mine. I'm not sure how it is for everyone out there who have had conversion therapy, you know. And it was for a short time. I just decided not to go after that. Because I was like kind of strong-willed boy. And either way, so I was born in the south of Puerto Rico. I moved to San Juan to do my studies over there, my bachelor. That's when I kind of got more involved with the community. And at some point, I'm making a long short story, like really short. And I moved to San Juan, and that's when I had a really, and this is where I go with my post. I remember being with my sister in my old house, and she was mad. She was mad. And I remember we parked, and we were arguing, and she hit the steering wheel hard, and she started screaming, "Are you gay? Are you gay or are you not gay? Tell me now." And she was just mad. Like she was like violent. She was hitting her steering wheel like with the H word. And then crying, I said, yeah. Before that, I didn't know I was gay. I knew I was gay. I confirmed I was gay or accepted that I was gay. Like 2 years prior to that fight. But I didn't want to come out. I was like, I'm going to stay in the closet. I'm in a Christian dance company. I can't come out. And I came out to my sister. A few months after that, I left the Christian dance company, went to, kept doing my ballet with, non-Christian companies and schools. And then the moment I came out of the closet, my niece was the first one who knew before my sister in that argument. I'm sorry. And she was only like 13, 14, but she was always very mature. And then my sister knew. And then the third person who knew was my dad. My dad was living in Chicago at the moment. And I remember being in San Juan, like outside of the house with the phone in my ear, walking down the street, like literally in the sidewalk, in a closed, like, I don't know how you guys call it. We call it urbanizations. Like, it means like that group of houses are locked. And in order for you to go in, they're fenced.
Oh, like
you have to have a key to go in. Yeah. So you can't just walk in. You need to be part of the community, have a key, walk,
Got it.
And I was walking on the street and I was scared like nobody's business. And I hadn't seen my dad. I don't think today I haven't seen my dad. It is almost 10 years, I think. But we still talk over the phone. And I hadn't seen my dad at that point in 4 years, I guess. I don't know. And I was talking to my dad and I said, hey, Dad, I have something to tell you. Like, yeah, what's up? And I told him, hey, I'm gay. And then the only thing that my dad said was, well, baby, what do you want me to tell you? Like, you're my son. That doesn't change the fact that you are my son. Just let me know who the boyfriend is. And then I started crying really hard. Wow. I was crying really hard. Like, oh my God, seriously, Dad? No, I don't have no boyfriend right now. And we started laughing and I was crying still over the phone. And then he starts laughing. We had our conversation normal and whatever. And two things happen. The first one, he starts laughing again out of nowhere with malicious intent. And I'm like, why are you laughing like that, Dad? And he's like, well, the issue is not me. The issue is your mom. Oh my God. And I didn't realize at that moment that this is how it was going to be. I thought that my dad was going to be the one that was bad. But no, when I saw that my dad was fine, it was my mom who was going to be wrong. And my mom was the Christian one, right? Got it. And then I had a little panic attack over there in that moment. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I couldn't feel my hands, my cheeks. And he's like laughing. And here I am having a panic attack. And then the second thing that happened after the panic attack a few minutes later was that my dad was like, so we have a way to have sex. How do y'all do it? I'm like, Dad, okay, come on, hold your hostess. Hold your hostess, baby. 30 minutes ago, I just came out to you and you want to know about my sexual life? No, man. My sex life? Nuh-uh. You're going too fast, Dad. Yeah. And then after that, it was just like beautiful. My dad keeps asking me, like, where's the boyfriend? When am I going to walk you down the aisle? I'm like, wow, okay. And awesome. I love my dad. Since then, our communication is even better than before. Yeah, I haven't seen my dad. I think it's almost like 10 years now. And I haven't seen him, and I love him, and I talk to him whenever we can over the phone. He at that point he was in Chicago, and I was back in Puerto Rico because he was born in the Bronx in New York.
Got it.
So and then I went to my mom, and then I was kind of cruel on purpose. I was mean to my mom because my mom used to be really controlling. And I was the baby. I was like the one that she would like, oh, he doesn't do anything bad. He doesn't, like, he's the good one. He's the one that has the great grades, like he's studying, whatever. And I sat down with her and I was like, listen, at that point I had gained my confidence and I was fine. And I went to her and I told her, hey, I'm just letting you know this, just so you don't hear it from someone else on the streets. Because Puerto Rico is like, your hometown is really small. Like whatever happens, it runs like fire, baby. So I was like, I'm just letting you know. So you don't hear it from someone else. I am gay. I like guys. Yes, I do like guys. And she started crying and she was like, no, I knew it. I knew it. And I'm like, well, if you know it, then it's easier for you and me. I'm just confirming it for you. I do not care about your opinion. I do not care about what you think. I do not care about what you expect. I am going to live my life however I think I am going to live it. I am not going anymore to church. I'm not interested in being Christian anymore. You would have to get used to like seeing me with boys, like, you know. And she cried her heart out, and I didn't cry, and it didn't even hurt. It didn't even affect me emotionally. Well, I was drained emotionally, but not like the saddest moment in my life. Rather, the moment that I had the most confidence I've ever had in my life. And I did it on purpose again because my mom used to tend to be like really, really, really controlling, and I was not going to give her the opportunity to have a say, you know. And after that, I came out of the closet and like openly. That's when I officially came out of the closet, and I was telling my friends, I was telling the dance company, my Christian dancers, like that we've known each other and we admire each other, and we're really respectful, and I love them still today. They're like they love me and I love them, and they have been there to support me even when that's not their belief, and they understand in their, you know, in Christianity, right, in the world of the Christians, that is not what God wants, quote unquote, right? And I was so ashamed after I came out, because outside of the circle of friends and dancers and that stuff, it was kind of judgy, you know? The fact that, oh, we knew, but you didn't know, but we knew. And now you came out and we're going to judge you.
Huh. Interesting.
And yeah, that's why I decided to do my master's outside of the island.
Yeah.
I moved to Colorado. I only moved with $500. I had no place to stay. Mm-hmm. And the university hadn't, you know, responded with an email if I had been accepted or not. Mm-hmm. But the moment I was getting out of the plane in Florida, I received the email saying like I had been accepted for the program at CU. And I started crying at the airport. And people were like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." I'm just like, I just had great news. The rest is history. I'm here, making friends and being gay. Yeah. But that was one of the main reasons. The two reasons were like, I wanted to study outside of the island. And the second one, it was my community in Puerto Rico made me feel ashamed. And I needed another circle of support, right? And that's why I moved. And that's what I posted in my social media. You know, I moved because I felt ashamed, and the community was like in Puerto Rico was making me feel ashamed, and I couldn't stay there. So I jumped to the mainland.
Did you ever go back?
I have not been to Puerto Rico in 2 years, I guess. I don't think there was anything for me there but my family and friends. Okay. Yeah. And I don't think I need to go for anything. I can talk to my mom over the phone or, you know, camera, you know. And when I do want to go, I want to go because I just want to go and eat my mom's food. My mom still today is like a little bit hesitant. I was dating someone seriously, like really serious. Yeah. And my mom was still calling him a friend, and I had to stop her and say, "Yeah, you have to start calling me my boyfriend." You know? Got it. And until those waters get a little bit like, mom is, at least she finally says, you know, accepts that I am dating guys. I'm like, it's fine. But yeah.
You said you haven't met your dad for almost 10 years. And why is that?
It's just that my dad keeps like jumping around.
Okay.
Well, my dad was born in the Bronx, in New York, and I have family in the Bronx, and I have been there a few times. It is not my cup of tea. It is not my place to be. I really don't like the Bronx. It reminds me of like not better days. And I was there for a short time, and a few times for a short time, and I didn't like it. Nothing against the people over there. It was just like not my thing. After being in Puerto Rico, you know, it was just like, no, not my thing. And so my dad keeps jumping around back and forth. He goes to New Jersey. He lives in Pennsylvania, or he lives in New York. And then he suddenly moves to Chicago, and that's where he actually stayed for the longest. And then he went back to Puerto Rico again. And then he went back to Chicago. And then he's back to Puerto Rico again. And then he's trying to move again. So I'm like, we don't have a pinpoint. Like I can't see him because he keeps jumping around.
Got it. Okay.
But yeah, it's because he likes to like explore. My dad is exploring like now, like what he couldn't do when he was younger. He's doing it right now. And I love it. I love it for him. So.
Got it. Thank you for sharing. That's very personal story. Yeah. I can't imagine like how hard it is for you to face the people against you, especially they're your close ones.
Yeah, it's just the fact that people like us who have grown in like small communities that you know almost everyone. It's hard because they like you or they like you and judge you. You know? Because at least in my town, it's really rare for them to say openly, or they're not, at least I can't say that they're openly hateful. They wouldn't walk around saying, you know, you faggot and like calling you names and anything. Rather, they would just avoid you, period, you know, and let you be. But the fact that they don't even say anything is nerve-wracking because you know they're talking about you when you're walking down the street, right? When you go to get bread in the bakery, you see them every morning, you know?
Yeah.
And then you go to the bread maker and like, hey, I want a pound of soft bread. And they don't even say anything. You just get your bread, you pay, and like, you know, you keep walking.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. In a very subtle way.
Right. It's not like they are being mean. It's just that many of them do not know how to react to that. Have not been exposed to gays, or the gays that have been open, like in my town, have been the ones like are part of the stigma. They have HIV. They were in that wave of that time. And, you know, a couple of years ago of, you know, they nasty, they like, ooh, disgusting. So now that we're in a new generation, and they kind of know about the story, but they don't know how to react many times. Or they just don't say anything and they laugh, you know?
Got it.
So yeah, I had to leave. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. What are some moments that you felt oppressed? So you already mentioned a little bit about your community, but if there are any more examples or moments or memories that you remember that you felt oppressed or misunderstood or unaccepted because of your identity?
For me, it's really hard because I'm like, I have a really, after coming out and telling that to my mom, after that day, my character changed completely. And I care like 0% of what people think about me, my identity, and sexuality. But if I feel like directly attacked, I don't stay quiet. I'm not one of those who walks around and be like, okay, whatever, you know, let's leave. No, I'm like, and who are you? Do I know you? No, then keep walking, you know? But sometimes it's hard to do that just because of the place that you are, their kids, or like, you know, things like that happen or whatever. For me, what is oppressing, and this is my experience, all the gays out there within, or like the LGBT community might have their own issues, right? And we have issues within issues among ourselves, but we also have individual issues that are shared, right? So for me, it's the fact that every time I go to a straight place, and I say this because we gays go often to like areas that we have more like LGBT, like the LGBT community, we go to places that we are like, welcomed, or like spaces that share the community, right? Trans, gays, lesbians, etc., etc., etc. So we go to those spaces, or we frequent those spaces more often, right? And for me, the hardest part is like, for example, going to a straight bar and like they see me as the clown of the party because I am the gay. I want to be the friend with the gay. He's funny. Make me laugh. Tell me stories. Oh, I like his mannerisms. Oh, he's cool. Like that for me, it's really oppressing and it's really uncomfortable. Because it becomes like a stage, like, you're making friends based on like me being gay and being funny, quote unquote. And I am the one who has to entertain you, and that's a big issue for me. So now I have come to a point in which like I laugh, but I read people. I mean, if you're going to make me the clown, I'm going to read you right then and there and tell you really uncomfortable things. So you stop, like at this point, I can't directly say, I mean, I can, I just purposely decided to not say and fight like that anymore, but rather make them feel really uncomfortable every time I go. Like the other day, we were at this straight bar in Denver, and it's really bro. It's like a really, really bro bar. It was so bro that I felt like I don't belong here. I gotta go. But the music was cool. I was with good friends. I was doing, meeting people. I met a lot of people, and we were having fun. And this guy comes close, and he was asking about gay sex in general, whatever, right? And at some point, I turned around. Are you sure you're not gay, baby? Because I can give you a little bit of a try, so you can tell yourself if you are gay or not. Everyone stopped. It was like, are you trying to flirt with him? Are you trying to like do something with him? I'm like, yes. He's asking about my sexual life. He's interested about my sexual life in a really uncomfortable way, which is not how you usually ask. So I'm wondering if he's also interested, so we can go really to the bathroom and see. Silence. He stopped with the jokes. He stops. He's like, he didn't ask anything. Like those subtle things that people do.
Yeah.
Like, we're like an entertainment. I don't know what about this. Like what's, and there's a difference. There's a difference between asking because you really don't know versus
or
I'm
like
in a club and I am joking with you and I want to know what you do. You know what I'm saying? And laugh at it with it. And I am not fond of that. There was another girl over there the other day that she said, I want you to be my best friend. And I said, I do not know you. I do not who you are. And I don't care for you. I am not going to be your friend. She stood there waiting for it. Like, what am I going to say next? I'm like, you don't have to say anything next. It's just that you have to stop with this like story of like, oh, I'm the straight girl and I want to have a gay friend. Let's do it.
Yeah.
It's just really common. People think that it doesn't happen often. It does. At least for me, it happens often because I'm really social and open and I laugh and I, make friends with people, But people who I am like, I, vibe with, like, like we're like having a real conversation about life and like drinking and funny and food and like places to visit and camping, But yeah, not the case where it's not straight places.
That got me thinking because when we met, it was in a class. We were getting trainings for medical interpreters. And then I think at the end of the class, I actually asked you, did you feel comfortable? Because I felt like the whole class was putting you on spot, like a
often. Do you remember that?
And but you didn't. I didn't remember you admitted. You say you don't care. But then I was like, yeah.
At that point, I think I hadn't realized yet. That it was uncomfortable for me.
For me, I felt a little protective of you because it's just like anyone.
You and Aggie were like kind of protective of I would be like, no, stop, people, stop. And I was
So it was a little uncomfortable for me to see people putting one person on spot, no matter your identity or personality. I feel there should be a boundary set that we should respect you as a person as well. But from what you're sharing is also, I think you want to be treated as a regular person. Is that?
Yeah, I just don't want to walk down the street and listen.
Yeah.
If I was going to entertain you, give me a damn microphone and pay me. You know,
Yeah.
like I will make you laugh. It'll be but I will make you laugh. But if you're expecting me to make you laugh and make the party like more enjoyable just because I'm gay and that's what gays do in straight circles, then you're nasty, you're disgusting, and you gotta get out of my face, and I don't want to know about you. And I've gotten to that point where it's like I want to make straight friends and I want to go out, but most of the time it's like really hard, And then working at the nightlife as a bartender, you get that often too. People see you and recognize you. Oh, you bartend in this location.
Yeah.
I do bartend in that location. Yes, it's a nightclub. Yes, sometimes I walk around in my underwear. Yes, that doesn't mean that I want to do that on the streets. I'm trying to get paid. That's different. So it's just this. Just if you want me to entertain you, just pay me and I'll just get damn microphone and entertain.
Yeah. It feels for me is like, sure, that's one of your identities, but it's not your only identity, and people shouldn't be putting you on the spot because of this label, and then kind of assume that you should be acting in a certain way just because you're gay.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of things happen in the gay community. A lot of things happen that people do not know that happen. The fact that what is harassment for a girl is actually expected in a gay bar, nightclub, and is not seen as harassment. Actually, we would think like, girl, get the hell out of my face before I slap you. Or like, be like, ooh, are you in that vibe? Let's go. It's completely different. The nightlife, for example, is completely different in the LGBT community.
And since you already talked about that before the recording, we already talked about why you wanted to, I don't know, make other friends instead of just staying in that gay community.
Yeah, so that's another thing. It can happen often, right? It depends on the circles. As I said, it depends on the circles that you hang out in, and the friends that you have. We all take identities depending on the group, right, that we are in. That is just a fact. It's scientifically proven. Even in language, we do it, right? We don't talk to the doctor the way we talk to our dad. That's an identity. I am the son talking to the dad, right? Versus I am the patient talking to the doctor. We do take identities and we adapt to the situations, to the groups and conversations, and we change, right? We change with it. After working in a nightclub, it's hard. It's hard because most of my friends are from the bar, and the nightlife, it's kind of dangerous in the gay community, in the sense of like, there is a lot of like drinking, and a lot of drugs, and a lot of like unprotected sex, and a lot of like everything has to do with sex, like everything has to do with like hypersexuality, right? Like, and it's just uncomfortable too. That's why I'm trying to like, balance myself now, and like trying not to hang out just with gays, and like, and go out and meet other friends. For example, that's why I was doing an audition today, to just go back to arts and dance again, right? I want to touch that part of me again in the dance community, right? And expand my circle at this point. Yeah, we want to have like a close circle, but we all love friends that we can tap into and say, hey, are you willing to go on a brunch tomorrow? We haven't seen each other in a week. Let's just have brunch. And another group of friends that they know that they like to party, and you want to meet them because they want to party and they're down to like go and drink and dance and and be happy. And other friends that, hey, they don't go and party like that, but they do love go camping and and like playing sports. And you tap into that group and say, hey, are y'all available this Friday, this Thursday, whatever, let's play. That's what it is. Life is not just having a close friend. Life is about circles and tapping into circles that we have, and understanding that, right? And accepting that we're just not two friends, because that is like not true. That's not who we are as human beings. So, I'm tapping to like other groups now and like trying to go out, not just for the gay community, right? Not just gays, trying to hang out with it's just hard. It's just hard to like stay in one group and then you see the things that, for example, like staying in the nightlife, darling. Honey, baby, sweetie, let me tell you something.
And we're getting old.
That's right. I'm hitting 30 this next in September. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this after 30s. Right now I'm suffering. I wake up the next morning and I barely drink.
Mm-hmm.
And I wake up like I have been like run over by a truck.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I am getting tired of like only be part. It can be draining. Gays can be draining. Gays is always a competition of, because that's another thing. Like you're with friends and it's a competition of who's the funniest or who's the who has the most sex this weekend or I'm talking about the nightlife kind of friends, right? I'm talking about which is the main circle I have right now. Because again, that's bartending, whatever.
Got it.
And it's just like really hard. It's just like always a competition. Who sings better? Who acts better? Who's the better drag queen? Who does makeup better? Or who knows more people? Or like, and it's raining, darling. I look at them and I'll be like, I don't need to be no Rick Martin of, just to meet people. I just want to meet people, laugh, and just keep walking. If we're not friends and we don't get together after that, that's fine. When I see you again, I'll hug you and keep walking, like no hard feelings. Like that's life. So yeah, it's just hard to like, have just a really selected group of circles. I'm just expanding. And I think that is healthier for me. And because the gay community it's a lot, like a lot, like a lot.
Thank you for sharing. You ready for the next question?
Yes.
Yeah. So we talked about your challenges, and it can be a lot in the gay community, just like you said. Share some examples how people are supportive and caring for you.
That's something that I have to say about the community in general.
Sure.
When we have something that we need to fight for, we get together, regardless of what we believe or not, regardless of our identities or not, regardless of our color, how tall you look, how short you are, how big or skinny, you are. We do get together and we try to fight. That does not take away all the things that happen in between, right? We still like have issues within the communities, like gays having issues with trans people, right? With trans human beings. That's a thing. Like it is happening, still happens today. And I'm guilty. At some point, I had to go and educate myself out there and be conscious about, they're part of this, right? But if there's something that I also like about the community is the fact that at some point, every time we're like threatened as a community, not just individuals, we go out and put ourselves out there, and support each other. And I will give that to the gay community. I think that the closest community like that is like that is the African American community in the US, right? They're exactly like that. They get together, they need to fight for something, they go and they do it, and then they go back home. And then the next day they try it again, right? So yeah, I just think that is in general. That I can't point you out into friends or something, for example. I can say that we have all at some point helped each other through something in the gay community, that affects us. And again, I'll give that to the gay community for sure.
This is my last question. Is there anything that you wish people would know about you?
About me, I'm not sure. I like dance. I can be really, really, really classy, and I can be really ratchet. Depending on the group that I am in, if I'm at the club, I might be shaking my foo-foo, And if I am in a really high-end restaurant, I'll, just laugh like a really high-end kind of person, just because I adapt to the moment, it's, I don't know. I think that if there is something that I would like, wait, who was it again? Was it Peter in the Bible? What I give him is that he said in one of his books, whatever in the Bible, laugh with the people who laughs, cry with the people who cries, like adapt to the situation, be with them, that's what you have to do as a human being, period. And that's what I do. That's why I have a tattoo here in my wrist that says resilient, because I adapt. That's that's me. I adapt to the situations and I am able to change and shift to better, right? We are all learning, right? We are accepting things, changing things, refusing things, right? And we're changing, like the like the Dreamgirls like song. This I am changing. We change, baby. We keep changing.
Yes.
So yeah, that's me. I adapt quickly to situations. I am able to shift my thought, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and if I'm right, I'm right. I'll fight for my right when I know that I'm right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Puerto Rican dancer that is a linguist, that is gay, and work as a pharmacy technician now, I guess.
Cool. Yeah. Let's do a recap for the episode. What do we talk about?
We talked about identity. Well, we talked about the experience of coming out, right?
Yes.
It was a really long, short story.
Yeah.
We talked about being oppressed, right? Or like groups or situations.
People put labels on you. Yeah.
Right. About, how supportive, right? People could be, or like if I have someone and examples that I have, and a little bit about me at the end.
Yeah. I have a question I didn't follow up because you were like in your flow. I was
like, girl, you should have literally stopped me right then and there, because this girl likes to talk. This girl / man likes to keep talk over here, and he don't stop, girl.
No, I like it. I like it because like I really want to listen to your story with your logic, but I'm curious to know, how did you know that you're gay?
I had my first sexual encounter.
Oh, okay. So that's how you.
Which is funny. I actually my first sexual encounter was here in Denver with a guy.
Like when you were back home?
No, when I first moved to Denver, I was 24.
Oh, okay, but like when you were young, you already knew that you were gay.
I knew 2 years before moving here. 2 years, 1 year before moving. Because I had kind of already like said it. Like I knew, because I liked. It's just like, this is hard to say because. Right. I don't want to get into like the scientific part, because we have talked about how language is an extension of human behavior. I've told you this, right? And I always use that as an example of like, we adapt to what we are thrown into in society, right?
Yeah.
But there are other factors that come into play, and there are things that I don't know that I'm pretty sure came into play when I was, growing up.
Yeah.
I just felt attracted to guys. I just really like, just like when you see a candy and you see it and you're like, oh, I like it. Even though you tried a candy, right? You know that you like it because you have tried it. But the fact that I like your face just because I like the features on your face.
Got it.
Or like your body, or like the way you talk, or like the way you stand, or like the way you walk. Those things were like what for me was, I was not looking at girls or checking out girls when I was at the bar or like going out. Yeah. I was like looking at the guy that was with that girl, right?
Okay.
So yeah, that's for me how it was.
Okay.
That's how it was for me. Yeah, that's what I can say. At least for me, I don't know. I guess that for everyone could be similar or different in other ways. But that's how I knew. That's how I knew. I was constantly like, I felt this like, I would always end up looking at a guy. I would always check them out. And we know what we mean when we check them out, right?
Yeah.
With or without sexual intent, right?
Got it.
And then now when I decided to come out, it was like an explosion of glory.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, finally I can look and not be ashamed,
Yeah. Got it.
So yeah.
Do you want the listeners to find you?
Yes, they can. Okay. I mean, if they want to follow me on Instagram, they can follow me as Hoskyful. It should be HOSKYFULL. That's on Instagram. And from there, you're going to see all my social media. I have it on my Instagram.
Yeah.
And we can connect and talk more. And you can also teach me other things. Or if you thought I said something that was out of place or that I should be corrected, let me know too. Because again, we're in this boat together.
Thank you so much for coming to the show, Norberto.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening to Chai with Ping. If you think someone will benefit from this episode, don't forget to share it with them. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. If you like my show, you can buy me some chai with small donations. Details are in the episode notes. Till next time!